Hello, this is Patrick at OneCNC West, and what I want to do in this video is talk about the OneCNC Drill Hole Wizard. But before I get started, you probably noticed that I'm using the OneCNC Cool Blue theme. That's why my background is blue, my toolbars are blue, and my menus are blue. You don't have to use the Cool Blue theme to perform the OneCNC Drill Hole Wizard. I just want to be a little different today, and it's one of the 4 themes that are available when using OneCNC XR7. Okay, let's talk about the OneCNC Drill Hole Wizard. Well, what are the advantages? Well, one of the advantages is that you can perform multiple hole operations on one hole or to several holes, all within one command. Let me demonstrate. If we head over here to the command manager, within the main toolbar, we'll select stock toolpaths, and then we're going to select our drill hole wizard. Now, once we do that, OneCNC is going to scan this graphics area, and it's going to group the holes together by their attributes. In this case, there's 2 groups of holes. There's a half-inch group of holes and a quarter-inch group of holes, and they're listed right here. In fact, up here it says half-inch hole, and then there's 3 of them. And then if I click here, you can see there's a group of quarter-inch holes, and there's 2 of those. Well, I want to drill these holes here, so I'm going to left-click, and I'm going to left-click on the little radio button there, and then we'll click next. Now these are just some standard parameters. Here's your rapid Z plane. That's the Z level the drill's going to use as it moves from hole to hole. Then you have your plunge clearance. That's where the drill's going to start feeding down. And then you have your material top, which is set at 0. So let's click next on that. All right, so this is where the real power of the Hole Wizard begins to kick in. You can see right here there's a whole menu area that we can list with different machining operations. For example, we can center drill, so I'm going to left click there. And then maybe we want to drill that, so we'll select drill. So when I do that, OneCNC is building a list of hole operations that are going to be applied to the geometry that we selected. Let's keep on going. Let's say that we also want to countersink. Now with these 3 hole operations here, we need to fill the parameters out. So I'm going to just double click on center drill, and here we have the standard dialog box. This is where we fill the tool information out. I'm using turret position number 1. I'm using a quarter-inch center drill, which we have there. We'll click next. And then I'm going to be using a can cycle, so I have machine cycle selected, and my final depth is going to be minus 50 thousandths, and I'm going to be using just a good old G81 can cycle. So we'll click finish on that. Now once the parameters have been set for that, we get a nice little cross-sectional view, and here is the little cross-sectional view in blue of our center drill. Now let's fill out the parameters for drill. So I'm going to double click on that, and then again we fill out the parameters. This is going to be turret position number 2. I'm going to say the speeds and feeds look fine. There's our half-inch diameter drill. That looks good. And then I'm going to be using a can cycle for this. Now final Z, that's going to take the very tip of the drill to minus 200 thousandths. But this is very clever in that if that was the thickness of your material, you could put the thickness of the material there, and then down here it'll say, you know what, you really need to go to minus 350 thousandths to clear that drill from material that's 200 thousandths thick. And if you want to do that, if you want to drill through, you just click that option there, so it calculates that for you. So you can use this simply as just the tip of the drill depth, or you can type in the thickness of the material and then check this option here to drill all the way through. Very, very nice. So we'll click next on that. I'm going to be using a G83 can cycle. I'll probably up the pec a little bit more on that. We'll click finish, and there we go. Now let's do the countersink. So let's double click on that. That's going to be turret position number 3. I'm using a 90-degree countersink on there. All the speeds and feeds are fine, I'm going to say. We'll click next on that. I'm going to be using a can cycle again. Now for the final Z, this is really simple. All you do is you take the amount of your countersink. Let's say I want a 20 thousandths countersink. You just add that to the radius of the tool. Well, the radius of the tool is 250 thousandths. If I add 20 thousandths for my countersink width, that comes out to 270 thousandths. So we'll click next on that. G81 looks good. We'll click finish. And there we go. There's all 3 of our parameters, and there's our nice little cross-section view along with the countersink, which is very neat. Now let's say we want to save this. So what you do is you come up here and just click on this icon right here. Once you do that, select the option called Save As. I'm going to call this 0.5 diameter hole with 0.02 C-sink. think that looks great, so we'll click OK. So what this has done is saved a new hole definition. Now this hole definition can be used at any time, and the name of the hole definition is 0.5 diameter hole with 20,000 C-sink. And I'm going to demonstrate this a little later on. All right, so let's just click Finish, and there we go. So this is center drilled, drilled, and countersunk. We can simulate this really fast. So I have the parameters set up here so that the actual thickness of the stock is going to be 200 thousandths. So we're going to click OK to that. Left click the boundary, right click. There's our center drill, and our countersink. Very nice. Now let's apply this to another part. Let's make a new part here. Hit the space bar twice. Quickly go to a top view. Let's just sketch out a real fast rectangle here. And why don't we use the shapes command and just quickly build a grid of holes. Something like that. That looks great. So there's 25 holes that are 1/2 inch in diameter. Now let's apply the same drill hole wizard. Let's come over here to our command manager. We're going to select our drill hole wizard. Going to select that group of holes. We're going to click next on that. I'm happy with these parameters, so we'll click next on that. And then what I'm going to do is click on the hole definitions, and we're going to select the definition we created earlier called 0.5 diameter hole with 20 thousandths countersink. Click Finish. And that's it. It's a done deal. It's applied all those hole operations to all 25 of these holes very fast. So if we were to simulate this, same thing here. Click OK, grab the boundary, right click. There's our center drill. And here's our drill. And then here's our countersink. You can see how fast that is. So the OneCNC Drill Hole Wizard, very versatile, very powerful. Give it a try. I think you're really going to like it. Thanks for watching. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.